Hi, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Telarus Tuesday call. It's October 22nd, 2019, coming to you from Telarus, the country's largest privately owned master agent and built for you. I'm Doug Miller, the voice of Telarus, only rarely placing the emphasis on the wrong syllable and champing at the bit to begin today's call. And so far as I know, one of the few people to correctly, I might add, insist that the phrase is champing at the bit and not chomping at the bit. That one ought to keep the discussion going for a while. On last Tuesday's call, we introduced you to a brand new Telarus supplier. It's Vigilant, offering technology solutions to manage your client's entire IT and cybersecurity lifecycle, from IT consultation and solution building to IT and security incident response, and featuring Cyber DNA managed network security, fast and affordable enterprise security monitoring. Vigilant reduces cyber attack detection times to just minutes. That reduces overall impact and therefore the overall time and cost of remediation. It's fantastic. New Telarus supplier Vigilant. You want to check it out. That's on last week's Tuesday call. And there's special recorded training from last Wednesday. Both are available now in your Telarus partner back office. Also, last Tuesday, we featured a tremendous discussion with Nice in Contact. Rusty Jensen is VP of Revenue Generation at Nice in Contact, and we discussed how the leading cloud contact center supplier supports Telarus partners for success. We learned Nice in Contact makes it easy to identify, work, and close high dollar software deals that grow with your client's business. And we discussed their differentiators in customer centric selling, service, and deployment. Contact center sales with Nice in Contact. That presentation and all of last Tuesday's call information was recorded. It's available now in your Telarus partner back office. On today's call, we'll welcome Spectrum Business, discussing their ancillary managed products, how to layer on those services for existing and prospective customers, managed Wi-Fi, router, SD-WAN, and among the most important, managed security. Improve your client's productivity knowing their data is secure. Managed services from Spectrum Enterprise. That discussion is coming up in just moments on today's Telarus Tuesday call. As always, we invite you to log in to the video link and live chat platform to see all of today's valuable information and to submit your questions and comments for today's presenters. Well, it seems that each week our list of Telarus President's Club qualifying opportunities fills out even more, and this is perhaps the most impressive array of suppliers there's ever been. Our suppliers continue to help make it easy for you to qualify for this year's President's Club Award. We're taking qualifying partners next March to an amazing getaway at the all-inclusive Secrets Vallarta Bay Resort in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. There are so many ways to qualify. You can either sell a combined 100K in Telarus MRR or by selling a specified amount with one of the individual sponsoring suppliers shown here on your screen. So many terrific and easy ways to qualify. Don't miss this opportunity to join Telarus next year in Puerto Vallarta for the 2019 Telarus President's Club. And our October Telarus Innovation Conferences are moving full speed ahead. These events are immersive technology training experiences which explore IoT, contact center, security, and much more. You will take your business to the next level with this all-new outstanding training and content from the Telarus team and from many industry experts as well. Big prize giveaways going on as well at each event. The biggest prize, of course, the knowledge and training you'll receive to build your business. There are still 4 Telarus Innovation Conferences to be held during October. Here is where you can join us. Today, Tuesday, October 22nd, it's a 2-tick Tuesday with conferences underway right now, both here in Salt Lake City at the Utah Olympic Oval. I have skated there myself. And in Los Angeles at Dignity Health Sports Park. A shout out to all of our partners and suppliers in attendance right now at those two venues. This Thursday, October 24th, we will be in Austin, Texas at Antone's legendary blues nightclub for great training during the day and a lot of fun that evening as well. Next Tuesday, October 29th, you can attend our Phoenix, Arizona conference at Turf Paradise Horse Racetrack. Join us and take advantage of these tremendous opportunities to enhance your expertise and build your business. It's the Telarus Innovation Conference. You can see our full schedule of events with all of Telarus' upcoming activities and opportunities. You can register and RSVP as well at Telarus.com events. Well, it is time for our weekly partner sales recognition and some shout outs to some of our highest performing Telarus partners who've put up the big wins during the past week. Coming in at the third position, Telarus recognizes and congratulates Christopher Paskowitz, Sean Hayden, and all of the team at CompuNet, headquartered back in my old neighborhood of Meridian, Idaho, and with offices all over the West. CompuNet sold a very impressive deal, 3-year Ethernet cable and SD-WAN offering from HyperCore Networks to a client in the millworking industry. HyperCore Networks is a global provider of managed WAN, voice, security, and monitoring solutions. They combine superb support, unmatched wholesale pricing, and premium installation processes. Our Telarus partner CompuNet is an engineering-led firm offering a host of IT solutions for small and large businesses, including data center, networks, security, managed services, and integrated media. CompuNet architects technology solutions that solve business problems. Congratulations, CompuNet, on this fantastic HyperCore Networks sale. Taking the second place honors this week, Telarus congratulates Mike Boer and all of the team at Integration Partners out of Lexington, Massachusetts. Integration Partners closed a tremendous sale of contact center services from NICE inContact to a client in the financial services industry. NICE inContact meets today's omni-channel contact center needs with their CX1 unified cloud customer experience platform. And they've been chosen a leader in Gartner's Magic Quadrant for contact center 5 years running. Integration Partners is an award-winning nationwide IT services and engineering firm specializing in solutions that are open, scalable, and drive greater productivity and competitiveness for their clients. They know the best solutions go beyond IT. Welcome to what's possible. Congratulations, Integration Partners, on this outstanding NICE inContact sale. Taking our top honors this week, Telarus recognizes and congratulates Dan Vidal. He's the CEO at Telecom Advisors from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Telecom Advisors closed a magnificent sale of cable and SD-WAN services from Granite to a client in the fleet management industry. Granite provides one-stop solutions for voice, data, internet, wireless, video, and secure network options throughout the United States and Canada. Granite's scalability provides for your clients' needs today as well as tomorrow. This is Telecom Advisors' first appearance on our leaderboard. They went straight for number one. They advise and assist their clients with everything in the telecom lifecycle, ensuring each client's needs are met at every stage along the way. Congratulations, Dan Vidal and Telecom Advisors, on this tremendous Granite win. It is our top Telarus sale of the week. Fantastic group of sales this week. The race is on for 2019 Top Partner Honors. Thanks to all of our partners for continuing to trust Telarus with your business. Telarus is built for you. On our training calendar this week, 4 excellent opportunities being featured. First up, today, Tuesday, beginning at 12:30 Eastern, Cato Networks takes a hard look at the realities and the myths surrounding SD-WAN. Does SD-WAN improve network performance? Will SD-WAN deployment reduce your WAN costs? And should that matter? What do SD-WAN vendors mean when they say security, and is that enough for your clients' organizations? This is going to be a freewheeling, no holds barred conversation with Cato Networks and Steve Garson. He's the president of the consulting firm SD-WAN Experts. This special Cato Networks training happens today at 12:30 Eastern. Should be really good. Then later today at 2 p.m. Eastern, Evolve IP will present training on Clear Login, their identity and access management solution. Applications today are accessed both from the server as well as on the web, and as more move to SaaS, it's become increasingly complex to keep those applications secure. Evolve IP's identity management solution, Clear Login, includes access management, identity management, multi-factor authentication, branding of user login pages, data visualization, and reporting. You can find out about Clear Login from Evolve IP. That training happens today at 2 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, AirSpring returns with a timely discussion of network diversity considerations. Seems as though human caused and natural disasters are occurring with increasing frequency. Your client's networks need to be prepared. Legacy network protection relied on sort of a Noah's Ark approach, two of everything, including your circuits. But certain network components, such as IP addresses, they're unique, they're difficult to change. So, what is the new path toward network diversity? Join AirSpring's visionary look at 2020 and beyond, protecting legacy investments while leveraging the capabilities of SD-WAN and other new technologies. AirSpring Network Diversity Training, it happens Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then this Thursday, beginning at 4 p.m. Eastern, plan to join CenturyLink for their SD-WAN virtual training event featuring interactive presentations, demos, and Q&A. The CenturyLink networking solutions experts will discuss SD-WAN in detail, helping you become a more powerful and successful seller of their hybrid networking solutions. There are also prizes being given away at this event. It's the CenturyLink SD-WAN virtual training event, and it happens Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. The details and registration links for these and many other live and recorded learning opportunities are all in your new, redesigned Telarus Partner Back Office at agent.telarus.com. Well, how about a few new spiffs and promotions being offered by our suppliers to make your selling experience even more profitable? Here are three such incentives. First up, from Fuse, F-U-Z-E. That's a Sumo, S-U-M-O, sized promo. They are offering up to 8x MRR, and that ain't the Thanksgiving turkey talking. That's 8x MRR. Heavier than ever. 36-month term required, new customers only. Deal registration must be submitted before December 31st. But here's what you get. 3x on the amount of the closed deal, plus 1x on deals involving 500 plus users, or 2x if it's 1,000 plus users. Then go ahead and add on another 1x on the committed 12-month activation and another 1x for 6-month prepayments, or 2x for a 12-month prepayment. That is a total of 8x MRC in Sumo side spiffs from Fuse. What a fantastic deal. Next, from Broadvoice, a spiff for one, a spiff for all. Broadvoice's 5x spiffs for fall. I didn't write that, but it's pretty good. Broadvoice is offering a base spiff of 4x on 3-year Beehive standard or pro seats, including call center and premium services. Add to that another 1x spiff for any order sold at standard rates. That'll give you a potential total of a 5x spiff. There's also free phone rentals on non-discounted seat orders and 2x spiffs available on SIP orders as well. Up to 5x spiffs available on Broadvoice sales. It happens now through December 31st. And finally, TalkDesk is back with a huge promotion for partners. How about 5x monthly commissions payout sound? Opportunities meeting select criteria registered by the 31st of January and closed before April 30th can be eligible for a 5x commission payout on the equivalent of 1 month billing on TalkDesk licenses. Has to be a new lead or an opportunity on a 2-year agreement with annual customer billing. Register it through the TalkDesk portal and it has to have a minimum 50K ACV. But it's a great opportunity to provide your customer with talk desk solutions and earn a 5x commission in the process. These and many more fantastic deals from our suppliers, you can find them all at promo.telarus.com. Well, as mentioned earlier, our featured presentation on today's call is from Spectrum Enterprise. Everyone knows Spectrum's fiber internet and network services, but today we'll be discussing Spectrum's ancillary managed products and how to layer those on for existing and prospective customers. Managed Wi-Fi, router, SD-WAN, and among the most important, managed security. Spectrum Enterprise Managed Security Service is a fully managed solution of network design, equipment installation, and monitoring. JC Boley is Spectrum's Senior Manager for National Partner Development in the Enterprise Channel. Joins us now to discuss the Spectrum Enterprise Managed Services. JC, great to have you back on the call. Welcome. Good discussion today.
Doug, thank you, and fantastic job. That was awesome. Good morning, Telarus. Excited to be here. As my counterparts in conjunction are at the Los Angeles TIC event, and we're sponsoring Phoenix in a couple of weeks. So busy couple of weeks for Spectrum and Telarus, so we're excited to be a part of it. Steph, go ahead and move forward. So I'm going to give you a quick update on Spectrum Enterprise, and then we'll dig into some of our ancillary products where you have the opportunity to layer those services onto your existing customers, whether they're fiber internet access customers, ELAN customers, E-line customers. We're not talking about the plumbing today. We're talking about the ancillary products. Obviously, security is important. Obviously, cloud is a hot button. We'll show you our flavor of cloud connectivity. But no secret to anyone, Fortune 100 company, third largest U.S. provider as far as lit buildings, over 230,000. And we're the fourth largest Ethernet provider in the United States. That might come as a shock to some of you. But we have tons of Ethernet out there, right? And we're going to talk about 3 or 4 products that we can easily layer on by asking a couple of questions. I'm going to try to keep this to 20 minutes. $2 billion annual revenue, $1 billion reinvested back into our network. As you all probably know, our entire network is wholly owned, right? So we're not leasing lines from anyone else. It's a homegrown, wholly owned fiber network offering cloud and IT infrastructure. Next slide, please. So a couple of things that we've done as far as a channel initiative-wise, we've added people, we've added directors, we've added inside channel managers and account managers. Those are designed to help you guys, help your customers, sub-agents, master agents with moves, adds, changes, kind of freeing up our regional channel managers to spend more time with you, the sub-agent, out in the field working and putting together deals. From a product perspective, Cloud Connect is a big one. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Hosted voice as well. Another initiative we're excited about is called Quick Connect. Quick Connect is an average of 18-day installation for fiber and Ethernet services. So as you're running an address for serviceability, be it in PartnerLink or through Telarus, if you see Quick Connect come back, you know there's an ag switch in the building, and on average, we're installing that fiber or Ethernet service in 18 days. Now, if I were you, I wouldn't quote 18 days, but you can be pretty confident that that fiber or Ethernet service is going to install within roughly 30 days. So that's an exciting initiative. Roughly 7,500 buildings at this point, trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year, and that list will continue to grow. We've done some automation in our Salesforce portal that we're excited about. You'll start to see some of those changes. And the new concierge desk. Next slide, please. This concierge team was built to support you, the sub-agents and master agents. We released it to master agents about 6 months ago, released it to the sub-agent community a couple of months ago. So jot down that phone number, take note of it. If you have a very simple question as far as serviceability, or maybe it's a billing issue, you can reach out to this team. They're kind of a catch-all, but they are dedicated to the Spectrum Partner Program, and they will answer any Spectrum Enterprise issues you have and just need a quick answer on. So we're excited about that. Next slide, please. So what we want to talk about today are some of the sticky products where we can kind of entice our customers to become more sticky, layer on these services, and we can move forward one slide, please. So managed network services in the Spectrum world is a combination of 2 things, managed router service and managed security. What are managed network services? Exactly that. They're designed to protect and manage a customer's wide area network, right? We use Cisco equipment for the managed router. We can service FIA or any Ethernet locations. Obviously ensures network continuity, routes traffic properly, specifically in the multi-site environment. And then managed security, extremely important. Eliminates network threats, protects your data, protects your customers' data, even protects down to the mobile or VPN level. So again, fully managed with a maintained firewall. Next slide, please. And where we really add the value, we monitor the network 24/7, 365. I know every carrier says that, but we provide in-house provisioning, activation, installation, monitoring, 4-hour SLO. So really what we're guarding against is an IT director trying to do this all themselves, right? Next slide, please. So we get to sort of weigh pros and cons. It's a CapEx versus OpEx. Obviously, you're having this conversation all the time in the field. If a customer is trying to manage the network themselves, what kind of training do they need? Do they need headcount? It becomes very cost prohibitive to try to manage your network yourself. Allow the customer, when we talk about managed services, allow the customers to focus on their core business and not monitoring their network. Next slide, please. So some of the key phrases we hear in the field: I need a network refresh, my equipment's end of life, my current equipment won't work, I have limited IT resources, we don't have budget, we hear that all the time, or you're having some issues with your vendors. Next slide, please. So enhancements to come very shortly. LTE is a failover, planned to launch by the end of the year. We're super excited about that. And then Type 2, currently ICB, that'll no longer be ICB, and we'll have the ability to deploy Type 2 managed network services all over the country. Next, please. So managed Wi-Fi, I threw that in here, and this is probably one that might trigger some thoughts in your mind, specifically in the smaller retail space. You think about restaurants, waiting areas, a lot of user traffic. That managed Wi-Fi. In fact, we do a site survey for every location to ensure that that device isn't sitting above the fryer in the kitchen, but sitting in the manager's office, which is under lock and key every night, right? So we want to ensure it's in the right spot within the restaurant or facility. All kinds of landing pages, maximum security will protect, again, the data that we manage. So it's a great product. We have a couple of orders in flight, or a couple of opportunities in flight, and we're talking anywhere from 400 to 700 locations. So if you have those type of opportunities, managed Wi-Fi, just ask a couple of questions as far as what they're doing for customer Wi-Fi. Next slide, please. And then Cloud Connect, one we're really excited about. You can go ahead to the next slide. So Cloud Connect is a secure private connection over our wholly owned network to these two CSPs. Obviously, everyone's familiar with Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure, two of the leaders in the marketplace. Next slide. So over Equinix's backbone, national backbone through their 5 data centers, we can deliver a private point-to-point. Why is private important? Because you don't want your connection to the cloud over the public IP, right? This is a secure private connection to these CSPs. Next slide, please. So we can design this any number of different ways. We can set it up as a direct point-to-point to AWS or Azure. We can set it up as an ELAN network, a point-to-multipoint. You can go ahead, Steph. So this would be a point-to-multipoint, making Amazon or AWS or Azure an endpoint on the customer's network. Single connection to AWS and a dual connection, if you hit the next slide. Dual connection to Microsoft Azure. That's just how they do it. It's not necessarily double the price, but Microsoft Azure requires a dual connection for the Cloud Connect product. Next slide, please. So no secret to anyone, 83% of our data will pass through the cloud by next year. Next slide. And then what kind of trigger words do we hear in the field? I'm sorry, what does this accomplish sort of going to the cloud? We talked about OpEx, CapEx, a better user experience, reduce infrastructure costs, reduce labor costs. Customer wants something a little bit more flexible, a little scalable. Next slide, please. And now keywords that we hear in the field, anything cloud related, Virtualization, hypervisor are hot trigger words right now. Offsite hosting, workload migration, replication, all terms that we're familiar with, but when you hear those, that's when we start talking and thinking cloud. Next slide, please. So a couple of probing questions that you might want to ask a customer. What is your cloud strategy? Have you considered AWS or Azure? Would you benefit from a private connection versus a public connection to the cloud? And then obviously the OpEx, CapEx conversation. Next, please. From an infrastructure perspective, are you coming up on any maintenance contracts? Have you considered moving to a data center or to the cloud? Any of those contracts expiring? Next slide, please. Operationally, are you set up to handle all of the projects you have at hand? Are there cost constraints? Do you have the ability to maintain those? Do you have the staff to maintain those? And finally, if you hit the next slide, the staffing. Are you equipped, not only from a staffing perspective, are you truly managing your own network, your own data, 24/7, 365? Security is extremely important. Cloud connectivity is extremely important. Managed services are extremely important. And it allows Spectrum to take some of those off of your customers' plates, making your customers stickier, right? And they'll stick with us and they'll stick with you. So that is it. I think I kept that to 20 minutes, Doug. Keep me honest here.
You actually kept that to just over 10 minutes. Man, the pace on that was terrific, JC. That's probably the fastest explanation I've heard of a managed services set of offerings in a long, long time. And not only was the pace good on it, but the content was tremendous. That is a powerful suite of offerings coming from Spectrum Office Enterprise for our partners and their clients. Let's talk a little bit more about that. We've got JC Boley with us today. He is from Spectrum Enterprise. He is their Senior Manager for National Partner Development. Great information. Everybody thinks of Spectrum Enterprise and they think of a certain set of products and services that, let's face it, Spectrum is a go-to for a lot of those standard products. But what they don't often think of is that these managed network services that so many customers are asking for or need, they don't often think of Spectrum as a first choice for that. You mentioned at the end several questions that should be asked. In addition to the questions to come up with the need, how can partners determine whether or not Spectrum Enterprise is going to be the appropriate fit for their clients?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, we can service any range of customers, right? From the low end to the high end. Really, any customer is a fit. So, for example, the Cloud Connect product that I spoke of earlier, we can sell that standalone. So you don't necessarily have to have our fiber internet access. You don't have to have an ELAN network from Spectrum Enterprise. You don't have to have a point-to-point in place today to order or to take advantage of managed products. The managed Wi-Fi you can buy standalone, right? And in fact, we can put the managed Wi-Fi on not only a fiber circuit, but also a coax circuit. So if you think of that smaller businesses, maybe with regional offices and then retail spaces like I discussed, we can layer on the managed Wi-Fi over the coax, but also over the fiber locations. So it's really a mix and match, small business, medium business, enterprise business. We can service all of them.
Just as an aside, in the managed Wi-Fi discussion, I loved the phrase, make sure the router isn't sitting above the fryer in the kitchen. That left a visual that I'm never going to get rid of. I just think that's tremendous. That's where a lot of them are, and that's a really bad place to have that kind of equipment. Let's talk a little bit more about the managed network services offering, which is, of course, the combined managed router and the managed security offering. Talk, if you would, just a little bit about why it's important to have that combination together and how Spectrum differentiates itself a little bit from some of the other providers that are out there. We all talk about monitoring, but what's different about this combination?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, obviously we went through a merger about 3 years ago and kind of took best practices from each company. And, Charter might have done something a little bit better than Time Warner Cable, perhaps. But they combined the managed router service with the managed security suite, which can or cannot include a managed firewall. So I think they just lumped that into the managed network services and go to market with that as a brand, right? They're priced separately. So you can opt for the managed router Like I said, especially in the multi-site Ethernet environment, managed router is very important, prioritizing traffic, routing traffic between locations. But the managed security suite is really important for every business. If you're a sub agent out there selling managed security, more power to you. Every customer needs to protect their data. More importantly, protect their customers' data, right? But the managed security suite going all the way to the VPN level to the mobile level, I think that's a differentiator. So, you know, it's a good fit for any business. Every business should secure their data. That's no secret.
Great question coming in on the chat line from Jay Hernandez. Does Spectrum Enterprises Security Service cover denial of service attacks? And when those attacks occur, how is liability handled?
You're going to have to give me Jay's information so I can circle back with him. Not to my knowledge yet. A lot in the works to be added to the managed security suite. We do have a list of services that includes. If you go to enterprise.spectrum.com, you might be able to learn a little bit more about the managed security suite. But Jay, that's a good question. I will circle back alongside an engineer. How about that?
Sounds great. Appreciate that. For managed Wi-Fi, this also comes from Jay. Is location-based tracking available?
I don't believe it is. I assume he's talking about, you know, trucking and transit and mobile logistics, mobile vehicles. Can he confirm?
Jay, are you listening? Can you confirm a little more detail on that? We'll come back to that one. Let's switch gears and talk about Cloud Connect for just a second. This is a terrific product. This allows a secure private connection to the cloud service providers. We talked about AWS, we talked about Azure. Are there other providers as well? How about Google Cloud, for example? And what is the advantage of this type of a private connection, and in some cases a redundant connection, to those cloud service providers?
Yeah, so I don't want to let any cats out of the bag here, but I've heard that Google is coming to be added to that portfolio. Not quite yet, just AWS and Azure. But like I said earlier, you know, some folks buy access to AWS or Azure over the open internet. Obviously, you know, could be potential threats there, but this is over our private, wholly owned, secure network. It's a little bit more secure, peace of mind for the customer, perhaps, to buy it from a single provider.
Jay did clarify his other question with regard to base location tracking. He was talking about on-site customer tracking, such as in a mall or a large location like a fitness center, that sort of thing.
I see. No, this is more, I think, for the retail space. Obviously, landing pages, advertising, more of that customer traffic, sitting and having a cup of coffee or a cheeseburger, versus tracking, you know, down to the MSS, cell phones, walking around a mall, sending coupon type deal.
Okay. Tracy asked a good question as well on the chat line. What's the approximate cost for the site survey? She's also asking, what AP do you use, or can you work with whatever a client has in place or has standardized on?
For the managed Wi-Fi? I assume that's what she's
talking about the site survey, yeah.
Yeah. So with the managed Wi-Fi, now this really depends on how many locations. So the couple that we're working on now, I mentioned, you know, anywhere from 400 to 700 locations. There's typically a $250 NRC. Now that's not for the site survey. That's because we're rolling a truck and actually installing the equipment on site. But for opportunities that size, we'll typically waive that NRC. Okay. But on the smaller end, $250 NRC, and again, that's not for the site survey. We site survey every opportunity when we're installing fiber or Ethernet services. PRI over fiber, SIP over fiber. We always, because we're wholly owned and we're building out our own network, we always do a site survey, and that kind of drives the cost. Certainly, we'll absorb up to a certain amount, right? And at the end of the day, we try to make it, you know, no cost to the customer to move forward. But, you know, the financials have to make sense. But to answer your question, there's no charge technically for the site survey. The NRC of the managed Wi-Fi is $250, but on the larger scale, we will go to ICB and try to waive those.
Great information. Another question on the chat line. Can we talk a little bit about Spectrum Business VoIP services as an overlay? And is Wi-Fi connected VoIP available?
So I assume they want to talk about our hosted voice product. I think we'll save that for the Thursday discussion that we will likely set up in December. We are launching mobility on the small business side actually this Thursday. So I think we have hosted voice and mobility teed up for the Telarus call sometime in December. So stay tuned.
Very good. So we've been talking a little bit today about managed network services from Spectrum Enterprise, managed router, managed security combined into the MNS offering. Why is this such an important part not only of Spectrum's business, but why should our partners, JC, be making this such an important part of their discussions with customers?
Yeah, so at Spectrum, I think we do a really good job doing the plumbing, right? Our pipes are installed. We sell a lot of Ethernet. We sell a lot of FIA, but those customers aren't sticky, right? So this just by asking a few questions, those customers become sticky. Just like on the small business side, the odds of keeping that customer when selling them, phone, internet, and cable TV, and soon mobility, that's a really sticky customer. So if we just ask a few questions on the enterprise side, we've already got the fiber internet access. We might already have the SIP. We may already have the hosted voice. Ask a few more questions and start to uncover vulnerabilities on the part of that customer where we can help them from a security perspective, or we can help them from a routing perspective. If one site goes down, we can fail over to another site. So just very simply, it's just layering on services onto what they're buying from us today. And it makes it a heck of a lot easier to manage when all of those services are under the Spectrum umbrella.
Stickiness certainly is key these days when so many offerings are available. The more services you can lay on, that's making not only Spectrum more valuable, but also our individual partner more valuable to their client as well. Great question here from Tracy that just came in. Are these Spectrum managed services available on any sort of a dashboard or a single pane of glass for the IT teams to have visibility? She understands that Spectrum would be managing the services, but does the internal or the local IT team have visibility into what's going on through some sort of a portal?
Absolutely, and I'm glad she asked that because I took those slides out in fear that I would go over the 20 minutes, but I should have left.
Nice job, Tracy.
We are actually rolling out a new managed router portal. In the past, we partnered with Cisco for that portal. But yes, everything down to the circuit ID, circuit performance, bandwidth utilization, login, password, customer will have access to all of that. Trouble ticket management. So yes, it's all in the works.
That's tremendous. So Spectrum Enterprise, we think of them for a variety of standard sorts of services, but the managed aspect of all of these has become an increasingly important part of not only your business, but our partners' business as well. If they have questions beyond what we've covered today and need next steps before we get to the larger training that's going to be scheduled, how do they best proceed? Contact a local channel manager? Are there other resources they should be checking? What if they need help on a particular opportunity?
Yeah, I'd absolutely engage your local channel management. If you don't know who that is, you can go to PartnerLink. There's a drop-down contact map. You can click on Telarus. You can hover over the state you're located in, and it'll show you your local channel manager. Engage them, but more importantly, engage our sales engineering team. They are chomping at the bit. Doug, I didn't say it like you did earlier.
Champing. Champing. No, it's champing.
They are champing at the bit to get out in the field, engage customers, and start selling some of having these advanced conversations. That's what really gets the engineering team going and drives revenue up for you guys.
That's fantastic. What a great team that Spectrum Enterprise is dedicated to Telarus and to our partners. JC, you are always available when we have questions or concerns or need something we need to escalate. That's about the only time I get to talk with JC is when I've got a big one going on, but the response is tremendous, and what a great set of offerings. We're thrilled about the partnership that we have with Spectrum Enterprise. Last word to you, JC. Anything else you want to mention to our partners?
No, thank you all very much. Honored to be here. Thanks, Doug.
Great to have you on the call today. Our thanks to J.C. Boley from Spectrum Enterprise for today's tremendous presentation, and our thanks to each of you for your attendance and participation. We love your questions and comments, and it always brings up further discussions that we can address later on. If you have additional suggestions for our weekly Telarus Tuesday call or want to dispute me on champing versus chomping, please email that to marketing@telarus.com, and we will return next week with more. Until then, I'm Doug Miller, the voice of Telarus. Have a great selling week, everyone.